Hi everyone, today I'll be talking about the difference between spearman bow and mariner bow. This video is not a review video, so I'm not talking about the specific of one particular model. It is more of a comparison of the craftsmanship and the design, engineering, and the way that they build their bows. The good things I like about them and the bad things I hate about them. Okay, so let's look at the tip of the bow first. This is an example of a spearman bow, and this particular one here is the Spearman Emperor. It is my personal collection. So the tip of the spearman bow, tip here, spearmen tend to use either horn or hardwood, but he usually uses horn. Just occasionally, I've seen a few cases where he uses hardwood, whereas mariner, he tends to use phenolic, this black piece phenolic on his laminated bows, but on his bamboo bow, the spring and autumn, he uses horn. Now, next part, I want to show you how they build their seer. Put this aside. Okay, the spearman bow actually has a very interesting build on the seer and the handle, but I'll talk about the seer first. So this piece here in the center is ash wood, and this ash wood is steam bent. Okay, steam bent. So they steam the wood and soften it, then they'll bend the wood into the shape of the seer. The purpose of this is to avoid cutting across the grain of the wood. So the seer of the spearman is more durable than usually the mass-produced seers such as those of AF and Ali bow. Usually they start off with a wood blank, and then they'll cut the seer out of the wood. So they usually have to cut across the grain to get the shape. But spearmen avoid that by steam bending their seer, their wood into the seer, and then they also add a layer of bamboo over here, in which this bamboo here is tapered down to the very end here before it joins with the limbs. So as a result, the tip of the fades of this seer here is somewhat semi-flexible. It is a transition from the flexible limb to a semi-flexible bamboo fades, and then to a more rigid ash wood seer. Whereas mariner used to do a piece of hardwood, just a piece of wood, and then they just cut to the shape as what I mentioned just now. However, with the recent batch, I just got this batch today, and I realized that they have done something similar to spearman. This is actually a surprise to me when I received it. This seer here is bamboo. I have not seen a bamboo seer before, so this is the first time I've seen it. This is a bamboo seer, and they steam bent the bamboo. So I'm not sure if it can be seen in the camera, but the fiber of the bamboo now follows the shape of this bend. So they steam bend the bamboo into the shape before they taper it, and the purpose of that is to make sure that the fiber runs the lengthwise from the tip all the way to the fades, so that it doesn't crack easily at the fades. So this is something I'm looking forward to. I think this is going to make a very durable bow. Now, in terms of the limbs, the limb itself, both of this brand makes them the same way. They do not seem to taper their limbs. Some brands, they actually have tapering in one of the layers in their limbs, but both the spearman and mariner bow do not. Both of them use a flat, the same thickness, a uniform thickness bamboo layer for the entire length. Both of them are identical in this sense. Both are uniform core, bamboo core, no tapering. now we'll talk about the handle, the riser. On the the Spearman, it is built the same way as the Seer. So we also have this bamboo fades, a thin layer of bamboo fade, and then transitioning into the harder ash wood. So we have the more flexible limb transition into the semi-flexible, semi-rigid bamboo, and then to the hardwood ash wood here. On the other hand, Mariner, he doesn't do this semi-flexible transition. He uses I think it's called techno wood. So this wood here is extremely strong, extremely hard. I do not know in terms how it performs under flexing, but this wood is, in terms of strength, hardness, is superior to ash wood, but I do not know how will it perform over here. So this is actually something still in question. I'll show you the Mariner basic version. The Mariner basic version has the same Seer, that's why I just skipped it. But for the handle, the Mariner basic actually uses a one-piece mulberry wood. It used to be that Mariner uses this wood on their premium, but nowadays the mulberry wood goes to the basic and the premium uses the techno wood. Now, in terms of strength, ultimate strength, this is actually the strongest techno wood, followed by probably this because of the unique construction, and lastly a single piece of wood, the mulberry. Okay. However, my personal opinion, despite this being the strongest, hardest wood, I think that the better solution, a more elegant solution in terms of a long-term durability, probably this being the better one because of the varying transition here from more flexible into a more rigid. It transition better, whereas this one is more of a sudden transition from flexible limb all the way to a rigid. So there isn't something in between, even though the wood itself is actually harder. Okay, next, let's talk about the grip and the arrow pass. Now, both of this brand now uses the reskin. Mariner has a larger piece, much larger piece than Spearman. And Mariner tend to be very consistent in the way that he built the arrow pass and the grip. Spearman, on the other hand, tends to be somewhat random. So every Mariner bow that you see, the height of this ray skin is the same, and the length here is the same. The material and the color is the same. But Spearman, this piece here sometimes could be red, sometimes could be green. I like the green more, so when I get red, even though it looks fine, but I'm not too happy, I just like the green better. The height here also varies. Sometimes I get it less, shorter, like this one. Sometimes I get it taller. The leather here, sometimes I get this brown, thicker leather. Sometimes I get the black and thinner leather. So there is inconsistency in the way Spearman makes his handle, and in that sense, I like the Mariner grip a lot more. Also, when we view it from this view here, Mariner has this very beautiful vase shape, and I find that this shape here is wonderful. It's beautiful. In terms of comfort, it is perfect. Now, Spearman don't really shape his handle, and he prefers a thin and narrow center or riser here, and then he just added this leather on it. So when you have the thicker leather, you kind of get a little bit shape. When you get the thinner leather, it just kind of go flat all the way down. The binding here can also vary a little bit on the Spearman. Most of the time, he uses this, I believe is cane or rattan. And that looks wonderful, it looks great. But the thing is, sometimes he uses something else like thread, nylon thread or whatever material. So it can sometimes vary, not all the time, but sometimes. Whereas Mariner doesn't use the rattan. Instead, we get this very beautiful decoration here, layered decoration. The other side as well. But I don't get this on the basic. The basic is empty, it doesn't have that. Nowadays, Mariner also come with this binding. Right now, this one here is some sort of transparent binding. I have no idea what they are, but some sort of transparent tape, fiberglass tape, something like that. And I heard from Justin that this will be changed into some string reinforcement. I do not know how that would look like because I haven't received that, but that's something in the future. Next, the finishing. Now, the finishing on the Mariner is glossy. It's kind of like piano gloss. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is just shiny and beautiful, very, very high class. You see that? Okay. Whereas Spearman is matte. Matte. Okay, no gloss. So, which one do I like more? I like both of them actually. The Spearman, because of the matte surface, it doesn't catches your fingerprint and smudges, so it's very nice to touch. I'm not sure if you have ever touched those matte surface and they're just sexy and you sort of rub on them. It's nice to touch and you don't have to worry about leaving fingerprints. Whereas the Mariner, they can be fingerprint magnet. If you have oil on your hand, you touch it, it'll leave smudges. But when you clean it, it looks great. You just don't want to touch it that much because you're gonna leave a lot of fingerprint. Both look great. The gloss surface also allow you to see the underneath core a lot better. So if you choose without the veneer, you see the bamboo directly and very clear. If you choose the option of having veneer, you can see the wood a lot nicer. Whereas Spearman, you don't get any veneer. You have no veneer option. So it is just bamboo, and the matte surface kind of make it a little bit cloudy and you cannot really see it as clearly as the Mariner. What else can I say about this bow? Okay, now I'm gonna go directly into things I like and I dislike about each of this brand. Okay, I'm not gonna be biased because I sell both of this brand and I own both of them as well. There are things I hate and there are things I like. So Spearman, I'm gonna tell you outright the first thing I really hate. You see this part here? This construction here? Okay, now this part is actually the beautiful one. As you can see, there is actually, okay, the Seer on the Spearman, they are usually made a little bit thicker so that they have better glue adhesion. And as a result, when you make it wider, okay, let me put it this direction. When you make this wider for better glue adhesion, there is more weight on the tips. So how do you reduce the weight? Well, Spearman cuts the fiberglass here. Okay, he ends the fiberglass here so that he saves the weight of the fiberglass for the entire length here. And he just put a piece of bamboo to close up the gap here. And this is a very nice one because now we have a tip that is actually very light and high performance while having a very good glue strength. However, I don't get this all the time. This is the good one. Sometimes, just randomly, Spearman may make a bow without this feature. It has a glass all the way through. Why? I have no idea. It is just weird. Sometimes there's this randomness. It would be great if he can make all of them like this, but sometimes there's the 1 or 2 unit that he just leaves it out, and it's just weird. So I do not like when things are when you order something and you just get something that looks a bit different than what you thought or you expect. So that is why I hate this particular thing the most. Also for the grip, sometimes I said just now, I get the black and thinner leather, and sometimes I get this brown and meaty leather. I also do not like this kind of inconsistency. I prefer them to be just, if you want to use this brown meaty leather, just use this one and don't change. Because the other one, it just looks flat. I hate it. Whereas this one here is the meaty one, and I love this one. So the inconsistency in the production kind of sometimes drive me a bit nuts. It's like, why am I getting this batch? It's weird. Even though the bow itself works fine, it's durable and all that is good, but it's just these two weird things that just kind of like bugs me. Oh, just now I did miss one thing. The glue that Spearman uses is a bit unique. I do not know what is his formulation, but I heard that it's a special formulated glue by himself. So there is a good and bad about his glue. The good thing is his glue seems to be really good, durable. So the bow, I have very little delamination cases with his bow. Now the bad, his glue tend to show more bubble in the bow. So it's not even like isolated cases. It is quite common that in Spearman's bow you might find a bubble or two, sometimes a lot. So that's the thing about Spearman's bow. If I'll do a quick conclusion, Spearman tend to be more practical. He doesn't care about the aesthetics and the appearance and the presentation. He only cares about making a bow that works, a bow that is durable, that shoots fast. Okay, Spearman bow is fast, and the reason is because the tips here are actually really light. For the same size, same style of bow, it is physically lighter than the Marina equivalent, so the speed is good. However, yeah, those are the small things that I didn't like about it, and the glue. But anyway, Spearman bows, practical, durable, fast, high performance, but somewhat not that great when it comes to presentation. Spearman just kind of like, the bow works, small things, doesn't look that great, that's fine. Yeah, that's his attitude. So you see, I'm not being biased with any brand. Okay, whereas Mariner is kind of like the opposite guy of Spearman. Mariner cares about presentation. He wants the bow to really look good, even if it doesn't perform. So you see, there is a big difference, right? But of course, Mariner bow is not to say that it is bad. It's not a bad performing bow. In fact, it's actually a very well performing bow. It's just that an additional bonus is that he really emphasized on presentation, and that's why you remember that I mentioned about the gloss finishing. So everything on the bow looks premium. It looks well finished, even on the basic. Okay, the basic bow, the basic version. The basic version basically just uses the China domestic fiberglass instead of the bare pole glass. But otherwise, just look at the bow. It is well made. Nice glossy finish. all the wood finishing, everything is good. The handle is great. The raised skin is fantastic. The bow just looks like a premium bow that is black in color. So Mariner, the good and bad, I'll talk about the good first. The one thing I really love about Mariner, the grip. This grip here is just awesome. It is perfectly fitting to the hand. Just look at my hand. It is perfect. So Mariner grip is so comfortable. There is no comparison. There's no other maker who makes as good of a grip as Mariner. Mariner also clear coats the leather, so the leather will actually last a lot longer. He actually also polishes and clear coats the raised skin. So the raised skin here is really nice. I'm not sure if you can see the shininess. He clear coats it. It's just beautiful. Everything is just really nice and smooth. Okay. Nice and smooth. Everything is just beautifully made. Mariner bow tend to be longer. It tends to be larger. Why is that? I'm not exactly sure. But if for the same length, okay, let's say the Spearman Ming Xiao Shao versus the Mariner Ming Moon 4, both of those bows are of almost equal length. But Mariner bow will tend to stack a little bit more, just a little bit more. Spearman bow tend to be smoother. That's why I said, the performance-wise, practical-wise, Spearman is the better one. It's not to say that Mariner bow is bad. It's just a little bit difference, a little bit more stacking compared to Spearman bow. And therefore, if you want to get them to be equally smooth, Mariner bow has to be a little bit longer. Also, Mariner doesn't make string bridges. Let me show you a string bridge on Spearman. Okay, this one here. This is the string bridge. So Spearman with their string bridge makes their bow faster. Mariner doesn't do string bridge. So in terms of arrow speed, they tend to also be a little bit slower than the Spearman. Is it a lot? No, it's actually not a lot. Probably between 5 to 10. It's not even 10. It's somewhere around like maybe a bit more than 5 feet per second. To me, it's really not that much at all. Okay. Is there anything else I hate about Mariner? Actually, no. I love Mariner bows. Yeah, I love Mariner bows so much. Every time when I get a new batch of Mariner bow, I'm always looking forward. He always changes something, but the thing is, the thing he changes are not like what Spearman bows did. Like Spearman, usually he changed something and you're like, what the? Why did he change this? This thing works, right? And he changed it to something that it's not prettier. It doesn't improve it. So I just kind of feel like, why would you want to change something that already works great into something that, yeah, it works, but it doesn't look as great? Whereas Mariner, if he changes anything, it looks better. It performs better. It is just a better bow. You kind of feel like, oh, I got a free upgrade, I've got a free bonus when you receive the bow, instead of like, what? This is not something I ordered. That kind of feeling. Yeah, so that's about it in terms of what I think about Mariner and Spearman. I'm being very fair, right? No bias to any of the brand. I love both of them. That's why I have this as my personal one of my personal collection. This is a very good bow, very smooth, very fast. Actually, this one here is really fast, a bit too fast for my liking actually. I prefer like slower, pleasant bow, and that bow was a little bit fast, so sometimes it kind of like scares me when I shoot it. I kind of just prefer the long bow, the Marina Spring Autumn. That's my favorite. Okay, second favorite. My favorite is the Gaga one. The Marina is my second favorite. It's a longbow Spring Autumn 1. I think it's Spring Autumn 1. I don't remember the number. Yeah, he has a lot of models. So thank you.